Something I should have, I'm adding this at the beginning after recording at the end. This unit, the Eonon UA13SK Plus, is a Qualcomm QCM6125 octa-core, 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage with a 10.1-inch OLED touchscreen. Okay, now we'll get back into the video. Right guys, oh excuse me, don't know what happened with my voice then. I've been away for a while, had a family bereavement and I've had surgery, so I couldn't do any recording because I had a cyst on my ear here and it was sort of out past my earlobe. Not very pleasant. Anyway, before we start today's video, it's a beautiful day here in Northern Ireland for April. I'm going to get out and I'm going to show you this view. First up, that's Dundrum Castle, and if we turn around this way, how's that for a beautiful day? On a good day, on a clear day, you can see the Isle of Man over there, but that's Dundrum Bay all the way around there, and then you've got the Mourne Mountains. And if you've been sort of on the news recently, you'll have heard that there's been a lot of fires up there the last few days. That yesterday was full of smoke, but it's all looking beautiful today. Looking beautiful. So anyway, car's nice and clean. But anyway, what we are here for today is, yes, it's an Eonon video. This is a Eonon universal unit, the UA13SK Plus, and I'm going to install it in here just sort of for demonstration purposes to show that you can do this. A lot of people ask, or I've seen a lot of people post, especially on Volkswagen, the bigger vans, like the touring vans and T5s, T6s, T7s. They want a slightly bigger unit than the standard Volkswagen VW X6S or like that. They want something a little bit bigger, but they don't want to lose the functions, because obviously this, it's a universal unit, so the wiring you get to plug it in is this, and that's not a Volkswagen plug, so you have to buy an extra adapter. You want to keep your steering wheel controls and stuff, there's a company called Connect2 that do the adapters so you don't lose any functions. Everything else in the box is pretty much the same as you would get with a VW unit. So you've got your GPS, you've got your USBs, you've got your reverse backup camera, but you don't need to spend, I think it's about £65 for a Connect2 adapter to connect this so that you don't lose functions in the car. You can, so I've got this frame here as well, I've had to purchase this because that is slightly smaller. The back of it is smaller than standard Volkswagen unit. But you can do this in any car. I'm using Volkswagen as an example because I'm in a Volkswagen. But with the correct wiring harnesses, cheap wiring harnesses, you can put this unit in any vehicle and not lose functions. So you don't lose your steering wheel controls. It's easier to wire in a reverse camera. You get your readout for fuel levels and stuff like that. So what you can do is, one, I brought the frame so it will fit. Obviously you've got the screw holes here for a Volkswagen. You can buy these frames for loads of different cars on AliExpress. So this is a kit that I've purchased just to demonstrate. So if we open this up, for a Volkswagen, I need to look in here. Where is it? Where is it? It's not that one. For a Volkswagen, it's that plug. So you've got the power there, and then you've got that one, and it comes with a CANbus. So I'm going to install this in place of that, but I'm not going to be using these wires. I'm going to use the existing wires that are behind here to show you that with a universal unit, you don't lose any functions. So I am going to take this out, and I'll show you how I'm going to fit this. Right, so this is the VWX6S. This is the universal unit. You see here, you've got all these exactly the same on both, which means that I can use my existing harness from this onto this. This is a slightly older model, so it's got the HDMI. So if you're in a camper van or something like that, you can have other screens in the vehicle using HDMI connecting to those. The newer VWX6 doesn't have it. The VW UA13SK does have the HDMI cable. But anyway, first of all, I need to fit this frame onto this, so it's going to sit in that hole, because you can see the size difference here. They're not quite going to fit. So this frame, again, off of AliExpress, is what I'm going to use. And you see I've put some markings on there so I know exactly where I want the screws to be. So I'm going to put this onto there, and then we'll move on. Right, so that's the Volkswagen specific frame onto this unit, and you get loads of adjustment on the sides. Like I say, you can get different fitting kits for numerous different vehicles to make it fit in the gap properly. There's all my wiring from this unit. I haven't touched anything out of that box. So if you are fitting one of these into a Volkswagen, with your adjustment, you want to give yourself enough space so that you can get this plug plugged into the back of the screen. Obviously this comes with an SD card as well. This one comes with an SD card, but it's on the front. This one, it's hidden, and you need to be able to get access to that, which is why you've got this plug that you can move in and out. So we're going to put this in, connect all the wires up. Wires can only go into one slot each. I had somebody message me the other day, I'm not going to name him, he'd accidentally made a mistake and he put the wires into the wrong slots, so his steering wheel wasn't working. It was on one of these, and he got two of the plugs mixed around the wrong way. Accidents happen, but we sorted the issue. We thought it might have been a CANbus issue at first, but it just got two plugs around the wrong way. So I'm going to plug these into there, and then I'll get the screen on, but we'll get these plugged in first. Right, so that's everything plugged in on the back. We're all there. So that's, and then we've got this on the front. So I'm going to slot this into place. I'm going to attach it with a couple of screws, one either side, to fit it into the factory screws. And then we'll get the screen connected on the front. So that's in there. Factory fascia plate back in place. Doesn't look out of place at all. Well, I don't think it looks out of place at all. But so yeah, all the wiring behind. If you buy a universal unit and you don't know, you can buy CANbus, harness, the works, all on AliExpress. Loads of different vehicles on there. Now, if you've not got a Volkswagen and you want to put a unit into, even if you've got Volkswagen, if you message me, drop me a message in the comments, I can link you to which CANbus harness you need, which frame you need for which specific car. Quick search, I just need to know the car type, the car year, and car type, car year, and that'd be it. So universal unit is now in there. I've just got to plug this screen in, which is a little bit fiddly because it's got plug in at the bottom, and then you slide it down and it's going to sit about there. I'll just get this attached. So that just plugs in at the bottom, and then we've got these little pull tabs here, one either side, so that we can slide it down onto there and get it in the position that we want it in. Right, so that's now slid into position. There's quite a lot of adjustment up and down on there, but once it's in place, you can also adjust the screen to where you want, if you want to change the angle of it. It doesn't look massively out of place. Yes, it sticks out quite a bit in a Volkswagen, but in other cars it would sit more flush. So it doesn't look really too out of place. I'm going to start my engine and we'll let it boot up. Might have to move my car, it's getting quite a bit of sun on it. So there we go, straight into Android 13. But while this is booting, I am going to move my car, try and get rid of some of this glare on the screen. Right, I've just moved my car, but it doesn't really, hasn't changed much to do with the screen protector on it really. Anti-glare one, but that's how it looks. So when you boot it up, that's how it will be. So, have I lost any of my functions? Steering wheel controls, volume up. That's all working. We're going to reverse. Reverse camera working. Parking sensors working. Front camera working. So I've lost none of my functions. One thing you will do when you first install this unit, if we just go to settings, car, factory 126, okay, up here, CANbus, mine is now set to Volkswagen, Skoda. When you get the unit, because it's universal, it will be set to no, because there's no CANbus box installed. So all these vehicles here, loads and loads and loads. This unit can be installed in any of these. So you've got a Toyota, you can plug it in, get a Toyota CANbus, and it will work with your steering controls. I've also got heater controls, electric heater controls. It will work with all that, your steering wheel buttons, etc. Just keep going down this list. Keep going down this list. Mazda, Buick, Fiat, Honda, Audi, BMW, all of these have CANbus boxes available, so you could fit this into it, or any universal unit into any of these cars with the correct CANbus adapter, and it will work. The list goes on and on and on. Focus, Subaru, Renault, Volvo, GMC, all the way down, Nissans, the works. Should we go through a few other things that we've got on here? Right, obviously, let's go back to the home screen. You've got volume knob here. So if you don't have steering controls and you want a bit more, you've got that button there. Does that go home? No, it's mute if you press it. Back button, navigation, that will open up. You've got a choice. Well, for me at the moment, I haven't set it up properly, but if we go maps, it's going to go straight through to Google Maps. It's not showing anything on there at the moment. One, because I haven't got Wi-Fi connected, and two, there's an update waiting for maps because it's all just been installed. So if you install a unit and it's blank on maps, it's because it needs an update. Let's turn this engine off. Other questions I get asked a lot are, how do I change these icons at the bottom? Because you've got all of these here, or any other apps that you install. How do I change them around? Like DAB and things. Oh, that's the other one. So now we've got vehicle here. I need to turn my ignition back on for this. So now if I tap that, I've got all my info. Let's just change that over to miles. So we've got speed, miles, fuel. On a universal unit without the CANbus, you wouldn't have any of this information. Open the door, door opens. Close the door. It's the wrong way around for this car at the moment. So universal unit, you wouldn't have that if you didn't have the CANbus box. Telephone. So I've got no paired devices at the moment, so that would be there. Home, Netflix pre-installed. Then you've got your amplifier, front camera, CarPlay, Android Auto. I haven't got my phone connected, so I'm not going to open those up, but they come on there. So yeah, back to these. How do I move these around? Because I don't want those. Let's get rid of video. So we tap and hold that up to this edge slowly. That white line appears. I can move that to there, and then we'll have vehicle on the home page. So we take that back this way nice and slowly. White line appears. Across we go. We'll dump that just there. So this is the Eonon UA13SK Plus with the added Volkswagen CANbus harness behind it, all working. What else do I need to go into at the moment? I don't know. Obviously setting up Wi-Fi and stuff from your phone. You got your internet, your Bluetooth at the top here, volumes, etc. I might leave this in for a day or two just to have a play around with it. I have had it installed in the car before, but it's nice just to change things around sometimes. And yeah, I'm lucky I've got lots of different units from Eonon to try out, and I can keep changing them around in my cars. Another advantage with this, it sits forward slightly, so you haven't got to reach as far to touch the screen. I don't need to touch the screen because I've got steering wheel controls, but I like it. It's a nice unit. Yes, it's a bit larger, but some people want a larger screen. I've still got access to my heater controls under here. It's not blocking the vents. Obviously, I'm talking about this in a Volkswagen, but in other cars, you can adjust it around, move it around where you want it. So that basically is how you fit a universal unit in a car that's got a CANbus system, but you don't want to lose things like steering controls, heater controls, reverse cameras. A lot easier to install on this. If I didn't have the CANbus box, then that's powering down because I've just turned my ignition off. If I didn't have the CANbus box, my reverse camera would have to be wired directly to the reverse light rather than a wire on the back of the head unit connected, which I've done a video, did a quick short on how to connect reversing cameras. So yeah, everything that came with the unit is still in this box. Not used any of it. I've got my USBs from the old one. The only thing I have used is the GPS, because I don't know if you noticed, but when installing GPS, I just stick the GPS box on top of the unit. It doesn't need to be on the dash. If you have a vehicle with factory GPS, you don't need this. You can get a harness adapter that will fit onto there and use your factory GPS antenna. So that's a look at the UA13SK Plus in a car with CANbus. And I like all of Eonon's products. I like this. It's not massively big, and it sits just right. So if you've got any questions, anything like that, just ask them in the comments. Discount code Dave10 applies on all Eonon products. On all the Eonon products, I will put a link in the description to the Eonon website. I'll put one up directly for the Volkswagen units, and I'll put one up for the universal units, so you can have a look yourself and see what you think and which one you might like for your vehicle. But you can fit it in any vehicle and not lose CANbus controls, and you can gain CANbus information. Right then guys, I'm going to go home and do the cleaning, and I'll see you all in the next one.